Today we will be talking about the film Brother, 2022, directed by Clement Virgo, a Canadian-Jamaican production that was widely acclaimed by critics.
Brushing against another.
My view of the film does not align with the general critical consensus, which praises it primarily for its exploration of immigration, brotherhood, and coming of age. To me, the film is much more about mothers. It is for them, and especially for mothers who have sons. Set in the 1990s, the film tells the story of a Jamaican family living in a Toronto suburb known as Scarborough. It portrays the reality of this family and the particularities of their lives. The screenplay and direction knew exactly how to approach the story. The film is not driven by intense or rushed sequences, despite depicting more than one murder. Is the pacing slow or simply measured? I would say the latter. There is no hurry to show a room, a table set for dinner, or two sons waiting for their mother to return home from work. The pace is unhurried in the opening and closing of doors, in the two brothers walking down the street, in their conversations. There is no rush to show life itself. The use of lighting contributes to this effect. It reinforces this sense of stillness that becomes painful in certain scenes, but never frantic or excessive. So what is the film really about? Is it about the brotherhood between two immigrant brothers, or about the life of a black immigrant woman who must face life while raising two sons? The entire film revolves around the mother. The two brothers are constantly searching for the thread that connects them to her, because she is the one who gives meaning and shape to their lives, even to that beautiful brotherhood so fiercely defended by Francis, the older son. Mothers who watch this film will quickly understand its message. Sons are not easy to control. The film captures those moments when a mother's physical and emotional strength is simply not enough to stop a son driven by the forcefulness of a different gender. Helplessness and despair. These moments are portrayed brilliantly by Marsha Stephanie Blake in her role as the mother. I would say the film's greatest strength is not racial or social discrimination. The police patrol neighborhoods marked by violence, and the methods they use are the same ones they always use, guided by clearly established policing procedures. But Francis is that young man who seems destined for death. Defiant, strikingly handsome, and possessing great inner strength, he refuses to accept anything he perceives as disrespect. The film makes it clear that his masculinity operates according to a very strict code. He tries to become the absent father for his younger brother, occupying the other head of the family table.
My brother doesn't count.
Nor does the film primarily explore discrimination against immigrants. The family home shared by the mother and her sons is a proper house with every basic comfort. Although the mother works hard, there is always good food on the table, and her sons are well-dressed and properly shod. In many societies, even hard daily work cannot provide these things. This is a foreign family that is relatively well established in the country, living a fairly decent life, aside from the criminals who frequent their neighborhood. The film stars Lamar Johnson and Aaron Pierre. Both deliver remarkable performances. It runs 2 hours and 59 minutes and is based on David Cheriandy's novel. There is one particularly interesting scene in which the mother asks her younger son about the aluminum foil he put on the window to block the glare of the sun. "Do I look like the kind of person who puts foil on the windows?" she asks him. "Do you think I'm like everyone else?" Finally, she asks him, "Do you know the sacrifices I've made for you?" And there lies the answer to why this university professor made his mother the protagonist of his book. He is the person he is today because of those sacrifices, not because he had a home like everyone else's, but because she created a dignified space for herself and her children. Doesn't that remind you of something, mothers listening to this review? We are almost always building the foundations of our homes and trying to position them, as best we can, within a certain social standard. The furniture, the food we buy, the curtains, the floors, our children's spotless clothes. Daughters may not notice these things at a certain stage, but boys never do. A boy is always absorbing these things in a passive way.
Smell that?
He is not prepared for the same things as daughters. That is why the neglected aluminum foil means nothing to him. To her it means everything. In fact, it is Aisha who ultimately makes Michael reflect on the sacrifices made by all immigrant parents in order to create a dignified home like the one they have. As for the music, since the film is set in Scarborough in 1991, the soundtrack reflects the urban culture of that era. Francis dreams of becoming a music producer, and the film is filled with hip-hop and reggae rhythms. The soundtrack includes songs by iconic artists such as Eric B. and Rakim, perfectly capturing the energy and identity of Toronto's Caribbean diaspora. Many of the songs emerge directly from the story itself, from the records the protagonist's mother listens to. The music serves as a bridge of joy and nostalgia, connecting the family to its Caribbean roots. One of the film's most acclaimed musical choices is the use of Nina Simone's rendition of Ni Me Quit Paz, which accompanies moments of melancholy and grief with devastating compassion. The original score was composed by Canadian musician Todor Kobakov. His music employs raw, melancholic tones that create a constant sense of tension. Director Clement Virgo has said that he structured the entire film as though it were a musical composition, alternating high notes of communal celebration with low notes of profound pain and loss. And we have saved the complete understanding of this film, based on David Cheriandy's novel For the End. The author was born in 1969 and is an acclaimed Canadian writer, literary critic, and university professor. He specializes in Black Canadian literature and diaspora studies. He is recognized for novels that explore identity, racism, and the immigrant experience in Canada with remarkable sensitivity. Guess what? He was born and raised in Scarborough, Ontario, a multicultural suburb of Toronto. This place serves as the main setting for his novels. His parents emigrated to Canada from Trinidad. His mother is of African descent, and his father is of South Asian heritage, a mixed background that deeply influences his work. Among his major works are Sukhoyant, 2007. His debut novel tells the story of a young man caring for his mother, who suffers from early-onset dementia. It explores trauma, memory, and racism. It was nominated for the prestigious Giller Prize. Brother, 2017, his best-known and most celebrated novel. It became the basis for the screenplay of this film, telling the story of two brothers of Trinidadian origin in the novel growing up in Scarborough in 1991. The book won the Rogers Writers' Trust Fiction Prize and the Toronto Book Award. I've Been Meaning to Tell You, 2018, a work of nonfiction written as a letter to his daughter. In it, he addresses racism, family history, and how to navigate today's political landscape. And yet, after learning about the creative source behind this film, which closely resembles the author's own life, we understand that the pain of his childhood and youth still remains within him. I still believe that not all of that reality found its way into the film. That part remains inside the writer and is perhaps expressed more openly in his novel, which I have not yet read. In the film, in my opinion, he chooses instead to look toward his mother and make her the true protagonist of his story. I invite you to watch it. You will be left with a beautiful feeling when it ends. Someone took great care in telling us the story of his life, but without burdening us with it. I like to think he did it while sipping a cup of tea.